hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching as always. It is appreciated. The Green Party of England and Wales is an absolute farce. The polling about 10% currently, if you're to believe the stats. So they're no threat to reform UK, but they are really, really funny. And I thought I would roast them a little bit. And let's call out the tit whisperer while we're at it. I can't believe that people actually fell for this BS. But we're going to get into that in a moment. FYI, I was offline yesterday due to a few groundlings at my end in my computer system. I've sorted that out, but I do apologise. I did make a pledge to post every day when I started the channel, so I've broken my own pledge, so forgive me. We'll get on to this now. So the first thing I want to bring up is this particular thing. This is the deputy leader of the Green Party. I might do another video of him later down the line, but this is the co-leader of the Greens, or the deputy leader.
Silent! We will raise the voice of Gaza! We will raise the voice of Palestine! Allah!
He was involved with the Her Hills riots. Now, from my observations, he was actually partaking in the riots up in Leeds. As soon as the cameras went on him, he switched tack and tried to act a bit like a statesman, a bit like a politician. That is revealing. Always watch people, what they're doing when the cameras aren't on them, as well as when they are on them. That would be my view on that particular boy. The leader of the Green Party, he thinks that shoplifting is justifiable if somebody's poor. I.e., break the law if you're poor, it's allowed. That is Zack Polanski's take on the matter. By the way, that's not his real name. I forget his real name. I think it's Dave, but we'll get into that in a minute or two. This clip was on Piers Morgan a few days ago, and it's revealing he doesn't care about women, he doesn't care about women's safety, so we'll get into this first of all.
It's being women's sport. Yes.
What?
If a trans athlete is a woman,
Nonsense.
then of course they should be in the sport and they're
But
participating.
they're not a woman, they're a man.
Well, I think that's deeply offensive to
They're born biological men. They can...
It's okay to be offensive if you're protecting people, in my view. If you want equality, you need to risk being offensive. It's not about respecting somebody's pronouns or preferred gender. It's about safety first and foremost, and if women's spaces should be for women only, then they should be for women only. Offensive or not.
They call themselves trans women. I'll respect them. If they want to be called she or he, that's fine. I don't care. But what you can't have is biological males competing in women's sport. Everybody with half a brain knows this is completely outrageous, wrong, dangerous.
So we'll leave that one there. We've got some larger clips I want to get into now. These were from Question Time with Zia Yusuf yesterday, and obviously the tit whisperer, Zack Polanski. So we'll get into these clips now. Thank you.
How much immigrants have contributed, but it is absolutely true that there has been far too much mass immigration in this country.
Completely agreed. Far, far too much. Reasonable levels between 20 and 60,000 a year maybe, which is what it was up until about 1997. Since then, we've had mass migration because the left wanted to rub the right's nose in diversity.
It has been to the detriment of this country. We've had enormous numbers. The Tories are most culpable for that, but I'm afraid the Labour government are frankly pouring gasoline on that problem.
Thea, do you ever think it's the number one problem because you spend a lot of time spreading misinformation and fear?
Not true. Now you'll get the Clapton seals in the audience because if you don't know, the audience is always handpicked. It's always handpicked to represent the demographic and the representation in Parliament, not the general public. They are not the same thing. Last year, Reform UK got over 4 million votes, third largest vote in the entire country. They got 5 MPs for their trouble. So it's done on the demographic of the Parliament. So Lib Dums are more represented in the Question Time audience than Reform because of the way that the votes dropped. They got about 70 odd MPs. Always remember that.
To make it.
But Zach, with respect, you just accused me of spreading misinformation. Please tell me, and the people watching at home, what is it that I just said?
Because you've said the first bit, which is correct, that we don't have enough prison spaces, that we don't have enough NHS NHS beds and that we don't have investment in our communities. What immigrant has taken away those resources?
All of them. All right, all of them. This is very, very basic. Say, for example, we are building, hypothetically, 300,000 houses a year. You've got 2 million people on the waiting list, and you're importing 1 million people a year. That's not really rocket science to say that there's not enough resource for the demand, and it's being exasperated by all of the immigrants bringing in. That's not their fault. It's the fault of government policy. However, it remains the same. If you've not got enough resource, the immigrants are going to be sucking up that resource. So when Zack Polanski, Dave, says these things, he's not actually doing the basic maths.
As opposed to those resources being funded. So you can't blame austerity on one hand, but then say it's the immigrants. The immigrants haven't caused austerity. The same Thatcherite policies that you and your party support, and the Conservatives, are what have caused the devastation in this.
This is the thing. They never do joined up thinking. Immigration is not related to public services. Spending on the NHS isn't related to immigration. Declining education rates, literacy rates in Scotland, Wales and England has nothing to do with the immigrants putting pressure on public services. It's all to do with funding. This is intellectually dishonest. Now, if you ask me, I don't think that the leader of the Green Party is particularly bright. However, he's trying to do sleight of hand. Everything is connected. The whole reason why we've got major issues in government is you've got 500 quangos and they don't talk to each other and they all have different wants and different needs. There's no joined up thinking in government, which is why we're in the mess that we're currently in. That's the first clip I wanted to play, which is obviously quite funny. The second one's more revealing, which I'm going to play now.
Farage, he joined forces with the Swedish Democrats in the European Parliament. This is a far-right Nazi group.
Any evidence of that? Is this just a smear? Is this just an assertion? Where's the evidence of your claims? Can we have that backed up, please, with actual data or actual empirical evidence?
They want to deport people, not based on the colour of his skin, but from the places that they've come from.
Too damn right we do. Too damn right we do. Nobody was democratically asked in the United Kingdom. Nobody consented to it. Too damn right we do. So if that makes me right-wing, if that makes me mid-century German, then so be it.
They also, Nigel Farage talks about it being the end of democracy because of the way certain ethnic minorities are voting.
That's true. It is. Because you're not voting on policy, you're voting on your in-group, out-group preference. You're voting on whether you are Muslim or whether you are a Sikh or a Hindu. This is a major issue. This is sectarian politics on the mainland. We've not had anything like this over here. In fact, we've spent hundreds of years getting rid of that, and now we're importing it again en masse. And Mr. Polanski here thinks it's racist if you've got a problem with it.
These aren't robust words, as Annabelle called them earlier, or we've heard on the conversation. This is racism, it's fascism, and we should call it out.
Incorrect yet again. Imagine if there was a political party in the United Kingdom that was the Christian Party, or the Protestant Party, or the Catholic Party, and the only thing that you need to be voting on is that line. Whether they're a Catholic, whether they're a Christian, whether they're Protestants, alright? It's the troubles all over again, and it's over on the mainland in the United Kingdom, but it's not actually limited to religions that are actually native to the United Kingdom or the broader British Isles. It's actually importing sectarianism from all across the world, and yet again, it's ripping communities apart, it's ripping towns and cities apart. Nobody ever voted for this, nobody ever asked for this. This is a quick image or a quick video, which I'm going to play over the screen now. This is Bradford in the early 20th century. Alright? This is Bradford in the early 20th century. Nobody ever asked for their towns, their cities, their country to change. Nobody asked for this, nobody voted for it, and yet it was done to us. Never forget what we took for us. Never forgive, never forget.
See ya.
Okay, so what we want to do is support people on the basis of whether they are legally entitled to be in this country. That's nothing to do with race, ethnicity, nor religion. Now let's talk. You accused me earlier, let alone fascist. You said that I was peddling disinformation, and I think people watching this program at home, given the Green Party are right now, to be fair, they're surging in the polls. It's important that people know this. When Zack Polanski is making seductive claims to you, it's important that you understand. Before he came into politics, he literally made money by charging women on the promise that he could literally enlarge the size of their breasts by hypnotizing them. That is a true statement. And by the way, if you think that's insane, his policies are even more insane. He wants a world without borders. He wants open borders. He wants us to stand down and destroy our nuclear deterrent as Vladimir Putin belligerently marauds into Ukraine. He wants a communist economic system. He wants to legalize all drugs. And in Zack Polanski's version of Britain, his version of Britain, it is legal to sell fentanyl, crack cocaine, and heroin, but illegal to rent your flat out. This is the most unserious person to enter British politics in my life.
Okay, listen, I'm going to let you respond.
That is quite funny. That is quite funny. Essentially, think what the Dems wanted in America, but on acid, and you've got some measure of what the Green Party of England and Wales would do in this United Kingdom. Nothing about green policy, nothing about keeping the environment safe. All about niche issues that 95% of the population really don't give two hoots about. That's what it is. It's minority concerns over the majority, so essentially identity politics, yet again. Not serious, absolutely mental.
There's a whole heap of things there. Do you want to start off with the hypnotherapy? Because not everyone may be aware of it, but as I understand it, you spoke to a journalist in The Sun who came to you and said, can you make my breast bigger through hypnotherapy? And you said yes, and gave it a go.
I said no, and they said, would you be willing to do it as an experiment? I said, as long as you make it clear, it's not something I do, it's not something I charge for, it's absolutely
Zach, that's not true. I'm sorry, Zach, I'm sorry, I've got the correct record on that. That is not
and then actually, amazingly,
hang on a minute. When you talk over each other, no one at home can hear. As I remember, you were quoted as saying, actually, loads of people might go for this because it's safer and cheaper than a boob job.
So we'll leave that one there. I'm going to say something slightly controversial now, alright? I think he needs to be on TV a heck of a lot. He's entertaining, if nothing else. He's box office, he's got a chuckle out of me, which has been hard as of late. Let me know, do you think that the Green Party of England and Wales are a threat to reform? I certainly don't think they're going to be a threat to reform. They're going to eat into the leftist vote, which is great. It's going to make Labour all that much more difficult to retain any seats in the next Parliament, which is brilliant. They're going to eat into the Lib Dem vote as well. I just think it's hilarious. All of it's hilarious. It's a clown show in our politics at the moment, and we'll just have to sit back and wait. Get some normalcy back into it. Now, if you like this video, and you think I'm being unkind to the Green Party, you'll let me know. Do you think they should have an environmental policy, maybe? That might be nice. You know, maybe something about shark finning, stopping shark finning, maybe protect the hedgehogs, actual bread and butter issues for the Green Party. Maybe not build so many wind turbines because they kill all the birds and the wildlife. That might be something as well. Anyway, if you like this video, let me know. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video later on today. Have a good day.